I want to ask you this question, right?
Yes.
You've been on Islam channel before many times. You're a prominent guest for us. But I want to ask you, you've been in a marriage for 30 years, mashallah. I need to ask you this. What are your tips? What are your advice for a happy, successful marriage?
Okay, fantastic. The first thing I will say is that you need to work at it. The same way as when you go to the gym. If you want to change your body, you go to the gym, you work, and you know you got to keep going even when you're tired. Even when you don't want to go to the gym, you go to the gym, you work out. The same with a marriage. You don't just get married and say, okay, I'm married now. I don't need to do anything anymore. And you just come home from work. Where's the food? This is not how you work on a marriage.
Yeah.
You need to work on it. You got to think about, in my book, I talk about like having emotional intelligence. Also, something called the 5 love languages. And so the 5 languages, this is really important that you should know like how you like to be treated. If someone wants to make you happy, if your wife wants to make you happy, you know, what's the best way? Is it like by giving you gifts? Is it by, like by praising you? Is it by doing acts of service, like, giving you food or whatever? It's important that you know how you like to be treated. Maybe it's personal touch. Okay, then also your wife, you need to know what your wife likes. And then when both of you know what each other likes, you need to give that to your wife. So, for example, if your wife might like something like time together. Okay, you got to make time. Go out at least once a week. Even it can be a walk in the park. Go out to have a meal. When you're having a meal, even I've been guilty on it a lot of time. My wife has told me off. Put your phone away. Don't be talking to your. Are you with me or with the phone? Put the phone down and let's have a conversation.
Proper conversation, yeah.
Absolutely.
Now, I'm so glad you're talking about this sort of stuff because I always feel, especially, my generation of Muslims who are from the UK, we have heard of people talking about, love languages and love and whatever, but that's all from the non-Muslim perspective. It's not from the Muslim perspective. And I think for a lot of young Muslims, we struggle with, we never get taught what marriage is. We never get taught what a relationship is, right? And it's almost seen as a taboo subject. It's like love, you can't talk about marriage, or you can't talk about being in love. You can only have, you go into a marriage and you figure it out there. But you're saying, no, actually, you can actually prepare for it beforehand.
Absolutely.
And you've even got a course before you get married as well.
Absolutely. I've got a course. It's a premarital course. It's for 4 weeks. And it's to really get the couple ready for marriage. And also, like, knowing like their boundaries, knowing the expectations. You need to know, like, for example, where do you want to be in 5 years' time? How many kids do you want? Do you want me to, it's important that I wear the hijab. It needs to be spoken about. It needs to be out in the open in the beginning. So everybody knows where they stand, and then you go together, okay? And also knowledge about, sexual relationships and stuff like that. This is important and stuff. It's important. And you're saying that it's not in Islam, but Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he's the best example for us. First of all, he had emotional intelligence. Yeah, he was happy to, to tell people that he loved his wife, Sayyidah Aisha radiallahu anha. He wasn't shy to say that. He was proud to say that he loved Khadija radiallahu anha, that he was his most loved wife, and how, and anyone that was connected to her, even after she passed away, anyone that's connected to her, he would love them, he would honor them. All this is because of love. When Aisha radiallahu anha, to show the love he had, when she drank from a cup, Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he would get the cup and he would look, okay, she drank from here, this side, he would go,
oh, he'd drink from the same.
This is the best of creation.
Yeah.
This is the best of creation. So we have so much examples from the Sunnah of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. So in some of my book, I have some of the examples of the Sunnah, but then some of the new age is good for us as well. Like, especially for us as men, because sometimes we can get caught up on this machoism and stuff. There's a lot of misguidance out there.
So let me ask you about that, because I said I was going to talk about this, right? Because I feel like, and I'm sure a lot of people would agree, that the onus ends up being on women. Like, how can women prepare for marriage? What can women do? And it's usually men talking about what women can do, right? It's never women talking about what women can do. So let me ask you this question. I've got you here. What can men do to prepare? What are men getting wrong about marriage?
First of all, you have to first of all do the inner work. And the inner work is around maybe you suffered from some kind of like trauma, whatever. If you did, you need to kind of work on that before you get into marriage. Because, for example, I had one of my clients who's got anger problem. And so in the marriage, any little thing, he blows up. Okay, so much so that his wife is even scared of him. There should have been work done on anger management. It should have been work done around knowing about triggers. What are your triggers? Learn to actually know what your triggers are. Work on that. Also, the thing about anger, someone doesn't go from 1 to 100. Okay, you need to be able to. Once you understand your body, you will know when you're starting to feel upset. It's a time for you to move away from whatever is causing that anger. Okay, so what else can men do? Men, as I said, they need to learn about having like emotional intelligence. Know that, okay, for example, we know in the Sunnah, for us as Muslim men, we're the ones that we're going to be paying the bills. We're going to be paying the bills, and then afterwards, our money belongs to our wife and the family. Our wife's money belongs to her. If she wants to help us, she can. Okay, we know all that side. But also, okay, especially if you want to have a long-lasting relationship, you have to be kind. You have to be patient. And something that we need to understand, but this is for both men and women, nobody's perfect. No one's perfect. So when you get married, there's going to be things that you don't like. Yeah, have patience. Patience goes a long way. I always say to people, when you're looking for, I say to sisters, when you're looking for a husband, look for someone who's kind, who's gentle, who's loving, who's patient. These are great qualities, not just about, the money. Because when, again, as you said, if we go back to the Sunnah of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he said to us, like, marry someone, okay, for their lineage, marry them because of their faith, marry them because of their wealth. And there's one more, their wealth, their faith.
Family.
Their lineage, their family. But then the Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, but the best is for the deen. And meaning that if they have the qualities, those qualities, because it's not just somebody that is knowledgeable in the deen. Because astaghfirullah the deen, sometimes some of the worst people are the most knowledgeable. Because they're very knowledgeable, but they haven't got any emotional intelligence. And to have a relationship, you need to be able to be lovely, kind, gentle, and get on. That is how you move forward together.
How do you know when you're ready, though? Because I think that's another thing that a lot of Muslims struggle with, is they feel like they're not ready for marriage yet. So how do you know that you're ready to take that next step in your life?
Fantastic question. Thank you so much. I think when somebody finishes their education, just to the level of they've gone to university, they've got a degree, after I think you're ready for marriage. The reason why I say that is because in the old days, many women, they used to stay in a marriage because they thought that if I leave my husband, how am I going to survive? I'm trapped. But then if you get to a level where your education is like at university level, you know that you can be able to, you can go and work for yourself. So I think that is a very good age. In this country, if you do it, 18 and then 3 years, so like 21, 20 is a good age. From there onwards. And because what has been happening, a lot of people have been leaving marriage later and later and later. And then after, then they can't find anybody to get married to. And I know in certain cultures, by the time you reach 30, they say, you're gone, which is a very sad thing. So definitely, I think when you finish university, you're ready for marriage. And also as well, it's not just about having sexual urges. Because we are living in a highly sexualized society. When you put on the TV, when you go all around, all the advertisements, so I understand that. But still, to get married, you need to be, in a good situation where at least you've got some kind of career, where you're going to be making some money to look after your family. But saying that, I'm not opposed as well to families coming together, supporting their children. Even when they're at university, if they wanted to get married and the families agree, I'm not opposed to that, because we need to try our best in society to be keeping things halal. Because if we don't support our young people, they will fall into haram. And it's happening not because there are many people that are not sincere. And they will take our innocent sisters who just want to get married and say and promise them everything. And really, they don't want to get married.
Getting Ready for Love. You can see it right here on the screens. Where can people get this book?
Right, you can get it at Amazon. You can get it at Al Latif Books. You can get it at Waterstones as well. Okay, and also, if you're in central London, go to Dar Taqwa bookstore. You can get it there as well.